Now let's talk about manual test execution inside the TestLeak platform. In order to start an execution, we need to decide the group of tests we want to execute. Also, we can only execute tests that are either scheduled or published. Other types of tests are not considered valid for execution. To select a group of tests, we have a couple of options. So we can have, in the projects view, we can select a project to execute all tests inside that project. And again, if that project doesn't have at least one published test or scheduled test, we cannot create an execution. For example, in this case, this project doesn't have one published or scheduled test. If the project has one, it will show you the setup model for execution, and we'll come back later to this to explain what you can select to start an execution. If you want a smaller group of tests, you are only considering at a repo level, you can also go to the repos view and also execute all tests inside the repository. Again, the repo has to have at least one scheduled or published test. Or we can even go deeper, and on the repo view, I can select a single suite. And for the sign-in journey, I can say execute all tests, and all tests inside the suite will be picked to start an execution. Or you can even go to the test level and run a test solo if you click run this test, and also you see the setup model for starting an execution. The last option is I want to do a manual selection of different tests. So on the table view, I can select the tests I want to execute and click execute, and we'll also see the setup model. So let's give an example and actually start an execution. Let me grab a group of tests like this and execute the tests. Once you have a setup execution, you are presented with a run player, and the run player is a view that gives the user all the information he needs to execute each test for each configuration in a ordered way, so it guides the execution, makes sure the test goes through all the scenarios and registers at least a status for each test. The test player is composed of the test panel, where I have the list of all tests I selected for execution. We'll present the test information on the right side, and you can use the header to register an execution. Also, you have the overall view of the run, where I have the total number of unique tests I have to execute and the total number of scenarios or executions I have. In this case, each test has only one configuration, so I only have to register at least one status for each test. Once I register all status, I'm presented with the execution summary with all the results, and I can either stay in this page and edit an execution, or I can go through the runs page. So on the runs page, I have a list of all executions that I started inside TestLeak, and I can review the results, like opening an actual execution, or I can even recover that run player and go back and edit and change the results of this execution.